Brazil, the largest country in Latin America, never ceases to amaze us with some of its metropolis. Their richness and infrastructures resembles the ones we can find in the most developed countries in the world. The Brazilian state, São Paulo, is bigger than 178 countries of the world. 21% of Brazilians live there, 40 million inhabitants in all. There are approximately 20 million inhabitants in the metropolitan area of São Paulo, which is the biggest city in Brazil. It is usual to find big cities with tens of millions of inhabitants in the less developing countries of the world. This has been happening since the 50s. This phenomenon, known as macrocephalia, is not considered a sign of wealth. It is the consequence of wrong planning in both social and economic aspects. This phenomenon does not take into account the well-being of most people or the steady development of every region in the country. Population explosion and uncontrolled interior migrations are some of the characteristic results.
A cidade de São Paulo é sem dúvida a capital cultural.
Undoubtedly, São Paulo is the cultural and financial capital city in Brazil. That is why thousands of immigrants from different parts in Brazil have always felt attracted. People from other Latin American countries have also emigrated. Unfortunately, the city does not have a suitable infrastructure to accommodate every immigrant. As a consequence, thousands of people live in slums, and many of them do not have a choice but work in the informal labor market to earn their living.
No mercado informal de trabalho.
During the day, the great quantity of people marginalized from progress is hardly noticeable in this big and thriving city. However, the view changes at night. There is a surprisingly new population. It is a very different population. People fill the streets and squares. They appear from every corner or hole where they have been seeking shelter during the day. It is the city of night inhabitants. They are street inhabitants. They are beggars and alcoholics. They are families and children from the street who belong to crime and prostitution. A crowd of human beings hiding their pain caused by failure, loneliness and misery in the darkness of the night.
E a igreja, nessas condições, é especialmente chamada.
Under these circumstances, the Church is especially asked to be near the people who have lost their social, cultural and religious roots. It has the mission to give a sense of dignity back to those who live in poverty. Thanks to God, the Church does not only count on priests or nuns alone. We also count on an increasing number of groups of committed lay people. They form new communities. They organize new movements. They are constantly looking for new ways of evangelization.
Que encontram novas formas de evangelização.
The Alliance of Mercy Association was created by two Italian priests in 2000. They are Father Enrico Porciu and Father Antonello Cadeddu. These priests and a group of lay people felt the need to create a work which would help them take the word of God to this oppressive reality of urban problems. That is why they have chosen to rescue people's human, moral, cultural and especially spiritual dignity. Their mission is to help people who are suffering from social exclusion. In a few years, the number of people with the vocation to be missionaries of mercy has increased. There are hundreds of people, especially young people, who have chosen the priesthood or consecrated life. They are also lay people with a full-time consecrated dedication.
Here in São Paulo, as in every big metropolis, we have many people who are seized and trapped by alcohol, drugs, or delinquency. Brazil has terrifying statistics. There are 33,500 murders in a year. We have a real inner war in Brazil. We try to make people be brothers among themselves. We want to create, to build a bridge of mercy for these poor people. Materially rich people, people with money, power, infrastructures, factories or companies, can reach poor people using this bridge. They can help the poor, and they can also learn together. At the same time, poor, marginalized, suffering people from the streets and slums can be rich. They possess such a beautiful and strong richness in themselves that they can offer their richness to their neighbors.
Only in slums in São Paulo there are more than 1 million precarious homes where approximately 6 million people live. These areas have become the domains of violent bands of drug dealers. There, robberies and assassinations are very frequent. Despite this danger, some missionaries of mercy have their homes in the slums. They have decided to share their lives with these communities. Their vocation is to serve the poor, but their top priority is simply being there. They are able to change their surroundings just by their presence. Their fraternal testimony and their deep spiritual life is a seed planted in such arid soil.
We have verified how these young people have stopped using weapons and have opted for other arms, such as the Bible or the Rosary. Their Christian testimony is a strong experience. Some time ago, a converted boy was run into by his former friends of delinquency. They pointed their firearms at him and he said, "I haven't come here to attack anybody." They wanted to take him back to the old days of raids and delinquency. He said, "Look at my weapon. It is the Rosary now." Then one of the boys pointed at him and told him, "Let's see what you can do with your weapon." He answered them that they could kill him, but he would not change his mind. He added that he had found Christ, the only one that had given him the true life. This boy, who was ready to give his life to evangelize his friends, was poked with their elbows and thrown onto the floor. He stood up and started announcing Christ again. He was ready to offer his life for him once again.
Missionaries of mercy are not afraid of going to or even living in these marginalized, dangerous neighborhoods governed by drug trafficking. Neither the state nor any other philanthropic organization has dared come here. However, missionaries are known and respected by these people. They spread love from the divine mercy of Jesus. They attract a lot of people who seem to discover a way to recover their hopes and their sense of dignity through their devotion.
There was a big emptiness inside me. I was looking for something to fill my life, and I did not know what I was lacking. I found the community 2 years ago. I'm studying my first year of evangelization studies. These studies will help me know if I'm prepared for the priesthood, for marriage, or for being a consecrated layperson. I've been trying to listen to God's calling for a year. I got used to listening to Him more often. I feel motivated, and it makes me remain in the community. I don't care about